Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. Referee Slim Jim 1973, first in line at the turnstile tonight. Good to see you, Jim, my friend, and happy to have you here live for the show. We are coming from the Tampa Sportatorium tonight as we bring you Atlantic Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship action. It is a little bit of a light show tonight, as next week is the pay-per-view broadcast, Heartland Havoc 134, Into the Fire. Next week here on YouTube. That will be Sunday afternoon. Probably try and kick things off around 5 o'clock Central or thereabouts. Keep an eye on Facebook for the exact timing for that big show. Next week's show will be a lot of fun. Got lots of matches lined up. Grudge matches, title matches, of course. Buddy Rogers will be defending the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against the Nature Boy Ric Flair. The Midnight Express to take on Bad Company, and a whole lot more. So we will see what brings next week to the pay-per-view broadcast. But tonight we have a number one contenders match for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship as Dusty Rhodes takes on THESZ. The AWF title itself will be defended on the pay-per-view next week, with Bobo Brazil taking on Big John Studd. And so whoever comes out victorious in that match will have a new number one contender to be named here tonight in Tampa. Also tonight, Ted DiBiase. Recently, of course, the controversial and cantankerous leader of the Golden Dynasty has been has been causing trouble and has been called to the carpet by his own father, Iron Mike DiBiase. And here tonight in Tampa, it will be Ted DiBiase against a mystery opponent in no disqualification grudge match action. Someone chosen by Iron Mike DiBiase to hopefully knock a little sense into his prodigal son. Neely Bob here in the chat room, as well as Dave Gardner. No cheating, says Dave Gardner. He says that every week, and every week that message falls on deaf ears. So welcome, Dave. Welcome, Neely and Slim Jim. Before we went to action tonight here live, we had a couple of preliminary matches. Pat Patterson kicked off the show, former world champion, with a decisive victory in singles competition against Johnny Powers. Powers was getting desperate, went for broke, charged into the turnbuckle, and did not end well as he crashed face first into the turnbuckle. Pat Patterson rolls him up for the pin. As the Velvet Posse makes its way into the arena. Nothing good ever happens when that bunch of scoundrels shows up, but I'm interested to hear who is in attendance here as we prepare for next week's pay-per-view and the big lumberjack match to take place next week. Jay Randus also joining us. Good evening to you, sir. Also here before we got started, a very, very competitive back-and-forth tag team match finally saw Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito, accompanied by Nikita Breznikov, pick up a hard-fought victory over the Killer Bees, as Mr. Saito pinned Jim Brunzell using the Saito suplex. And just before we came live, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin against Angelo Mosca. Mosca, one of the most hated heels in the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. And of course, Mosca tried the Pearl Harbor job before the opening bell. Stone Cold was ready for him, and Stone Cold cleaned his clock and went on to a big victory with the Stone Cold Stunner. And that brings us to tonight's action here live on the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. Special guest in the house tonight. My beloved wife is sitting not far from the announcer's desk here. She has promised to behave herself just this once, and so we appreciate that. Wifey dear just celebrating her 29th birthday, and we had a great birthday dinner for her this afternoon, and now we are live on the network. So our first contest, ladies and gentlemen, is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a tag team contest. Introducing first from Chicago, Illinois. He stands at 6'8" and weighs 290 pounds. This is Doc Gallows. And his tag team partner hails from Cincinnati, Ohio. Standing at 6'1", weighing 215 pounds, he is the Machine Gun, KARL Anderson, collectively known as the Bullet Club. So the Bullet Club team of KARL Anderson and Doc Gallows set to do battle here tonight in Tampa against their opponents, who hail from Sandy Fork, Delaware, at a total combined weight of 453 pounds. Excuse me, 63 pounds. Forgot to carry the one. Total combined weight 463 pounds out of Sandy Fork, Delaware. It is Jay and Mark, the BRISCOE brothers. And Pops Reviews joining us. Good evening, Dave and Chat. Hope everyone is enjoying their Sunday evening. Pops, always great to have you on the channel. Our good friend Hasim Neely Bob announcing Sherry Martel, the Queen of the Ring, joining us here at ringside. Welcome to the sensational one. And now it is time to get our opening televised match rolling here in the Dave Cave. It will be Mark Briscoe starting things off against KARL Anderson. Friendly rivalry between these teams. Actually, not so friendly. These two did have a pretty nasty feud in Ring of Honor back in the day, before the untimely passing of Jay Briscoe. Yeah, really good YouTube video of Anderson and Gallows showing up uninvited to the Briscoe family farm with a very intense brawl that followed suit. So, yeah, no love lost between these two teams. And it will be Mark Briscoe starting things off with the opening initiative roll, and he is going to come right out with a spinning slap to the face of KARL Anderson. Anderson not very happy about that. And Mark is going to follow that up with a kick to the teeth. Wow, Anderson taking some, I wouldn't call it punishment, but a couple of really demeaning and degrading blows here, as Briscoe now attempting a vertical suplex. That's a power move, and not going to be successful against the stronger KARL Anderson. So that gives Anderson a chance to take control, and Anderson comes with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Mark Briscoe, and as Mark bounces forward off the turnbuckle, he catches KARL Anderson with a skull-splitting running lariat. Anderson goes down hard, and Mark Briscoe is now in control. Mark Briscoe in control, and he is going to go with a flying leg lariat. Didn't get all of that one. Both men tumble to the floor, or tumble to the mat, and scramble back up to their feet. And as they come back together in the center of the ring, this time it is KARL Anderson with a rake of the eyes. That wasn't very nice. And Anderson is going to follow that up with a side headlock. Not sure how many side headlocks we're going to see in a brawl between these two teams, but in this case, it is Anderson working the headlock and now into a neck breaker. And this is actually in tag matches with Doc Gallows, a back suplex neck breaker combination, a tag team maneuver that is going to be an add one for Mark Briscoe. Briscoe eating the first point of fatigue in tonight's matchup. And that will put Doc Gallows now in the ring as the legal man for the Bullet Club. And he goes to a fireman's carry flapjack. Down hard to the mat goes Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe now rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on the arena floor, it is going to be Mark Briscoe winning the brawl and hurling Doc Gallows into the crowd. Not sure what the crowd did to deserve that, but Briscoe is back in the ring, and he is getting ready for Doc Gallows, who is kind of extracting himself from the chairs and not getting a whole lot of help or respect from the fans. But Doc Gallows finally gets back into the ring, and Mark Briscoe just knocks him right back off of the ring apron and down to the arena floor once again. Another brawl on the arena floor coming up. And this time, once again, it is Mark Briscoe winning the brawl on the arena floor with an Irish whip into the ring steps. Doc Gallows crashing hard into the ring steps. And as he crawls back into the ring, that's going to be a double team opportunity for the Briscoes. It's a deadly face-first double team suplex. Here's Mark Briscoe trying for the cover, and Gallows able to kick out. Jay Briscoe now is the legal man in the ring after the double team, and he takes over on the offense. And it is Jay with a Death Valley driver, again going for the cover. The pin roll now is 3, and on a roll of 6, Doc Gallows again able to kick out. But the Briscoes have taken control of this one after some nasty action on the arena floor, which is about what you would expect from dem boys. Here's another Death Valley driver delivered by Jay Briscoe. Doc Gallows slowly getting up to one knee in the ring as Briscoe stays on him. And now he's going to attempt a Yakuza kick. This is a choice E maneuver, so he will need 11 or lower to hit the Yakuza kick, and he nails Doc Gallows with that Yakuza kick. And Doc Gallows tumbles out of the ring and down to the arena floor, and here we go again. Out of the ring, Doc Gallows and Jay Briscoe. And once again, the Briscoe brothers prevail as Jay is able to suplex Doc Gallows onto the arena floor. Jay Briscoe now once again in control, and he's going to go for the day one. This is a slingshot lariat double team maneuver. It's a 0 finisher. The pin roll here is 4, and on a roll of 8, Doc Gallows able to kick out. But he now has hit 3 tokens of fatigue, and that means that KARL Anderson is going to attempt a tag team interference. But on a roll of 9, it is Mark Briscoe hitting the ring to take out KARL Anderson, and that leaves Doc Gallows at risk and still on the defensive as Jay Briscoe now has taken over. Jay Briscoe in control against Mark Briscoe, and now he's going up for the death jump. This is a great idea. Doc Gallows rated C on the death jump, and on a roll of 10, it is a perfect. I said perfect cross body block off the top turnbuckle. Jay Briscoe going for the pin. The pin roll is 5, and on a roll of 7, Doc Gallows able to kick out, but things are looking desperate for the Bullet Club. As Gallows in a world of hurt here, Jay Briscoe still in control, and he is going to pitch Doc Gallows out of the ring once again. This time it is going to be the double DQ roll. There will not be disqualification for the Briscoes or the Bullet Club, and now we go to the odd even roll, and on a roll of 5, once again, it is the Briscoes winning the brawl as Jay Briscoe hits Doc Gallows with a diving clothesline off the ring apron, putting Doc on his keister on the floor. Doc Gallows coming back into the ring as the Briscoe brothers load up another double team opportunity. And this time it is going to be a running forearm smash delivered by Mark Briscoe that stuns Doc Gallows as he comes back through the ropes. Mark Briscoe now in control, and he is going to fire up with some of that redneck kung fu. Fists and chops and feet flying all over the place. Mark Briscoe screaming like a banshee, and Doc Gallows runs for cover again and ducks out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And Briscoe is going to follow him up, and again, we go to the double disqualification roll. As both these teams are risking disqualification. Doc Gallows may be disqualified here, but no, he will not. So once again, we go odd versus even, and this time it is Doc Gallows finally winning the brawl on the arena floor with a big body slam, planting Mark Briscoe onto the concrete. Doc Gallows now finally in control as action comes back. Actually, we're staying out of the ring. Doc Gallows keeping things out of the ring. And this time it is Doc Gallows going to the use of a foreign object. He's got a broom. I don't know where he got a broomstick, but Doc Gallows has just taken after Mark Briscoe with a broomstick. He will not be disqualified for that. Believe it or not. And action finally crawls back into the ring with a double team opportunity for the Bullet Club. And they nail Mark Briscoe with a devastating double team move. Anderson and Gallows. A big double choke slam on Mark Briscoe. And that is going to put Karl Anderson back in the ring and in control as the legal man. With Briscoe now down, and it is Karl Anderson coming after him with the rocket kick. Rocket kick delivered. Anderson going for the cover. The pin roll here is 3. And on a roll of snake eyes, he may get him. Wow, just like that. Can Jay Briscoe make the save? No, he cannot. On a roll of 7, Jay Briscoe unable to make the save. So just like that, Karl Anderson with a rocket kick catches Mark Briscoe right between the eyes. Briscoe is down for the count. 1, 2, 3. And congratulations to your winners, Karl Anderson and Doc Gallows, the Bullet Club, pulling that victory out of nowhere after it looked like Doc Gallows was about dead to rights before they finally managed to get that broomstick in play. And it was Doc Gallows whacking Mark Briscoe with the broomstick to set up the double team choke slam in the ring. And the rocket kick delivered by Karl Anderson for the pin. As referee Slim Jim says, boo. Boo indeed. All right, lots of folks joining us in the chat room. Let me catch up on the greetings here that we missed. Let's see, Pop Reviews. Barbara113. Barbara, great to have you here in the Dave Cave. Thank you for joining us. Barbara joining us. Solo promoter Grant Bachoco, Mr. Liberty Bibberty himself, is also here with us in the chat room. And Grant has graciously invited me to join him on his YouTube broadcast. I think we're going to do something this Wednesday night for the Solo Promoter channel on YouTube. And I am definitely looking forward to that and deeply appreciate the invitation. So Grant, yeah, I will touch base with you later this evening on Facebook Messenger to iron out the details. Solo promoter Kathy Evans joining us here. Thank you, Kathy, for joining us. And thank you also to Captain Carl 8230. Bobby, great to hear from you as well. Welcome to tonight's action here in the Dave Cave. All right, our first tag team matchup is in the books. Congratulations again to the Bullet Club team of Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson for getting that victory. Really pulled that victory out of nowhere as they were in trouble for most of that match, but the resiliency and the creativity of Doc Gallows enabled him to escape his predicament and set up Karl Anderson for the victory for the Bullet Club. And Dr. XC5 is here with us. Good evening to you, too. Thank you for tuning in. Great crowd coming in here tonight. As we get ready for our next match, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a standard singles match. Introducing first, out of Soka, Saitama, Japan. He stands at 5'9", weighs 187 pounds, representing the Golden Dynasty. This is KENTA. And his opponent hails from nearby Tampa, Florida, right here, the hometown boy, Tampa, Florida. The Brandon Bull, standing at an even 6 foot, weighing 258 pounds. This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. So Paul Orndorff set to do battle with KENTA from the Golden Dynasty. So you're going to always have to keep an eye out for the nefarious individuals from the Golden Dynasty. Curt Hennig, Barry Windham may be lurking around. I doubt that Ted DiBiase is going to be acting up, since he's got a grudge match against one of his father's compatriots later in the show. So I think Ted's going to be on his best behavior, but with Barry and Curt, you never know. As Dwayne March joins us and Frank Wainscott joins us. ROH Heatwave in the books, quite the event. I did see your post tonight, Frank. I haven't read it in detail, but looking forward to seeing all those great results from the Frank Wainscott Ring of Honor Federation. All right, we've got Paul Orndorff and KENTA set now to go. And oh my goodness, the opening initiative roll is tied. So we are going to the Face to the Mat Shenanigans book, courtesy of KENTA, brought to you by Play Games and Face to the Mat. And on a roll of 3-4, is there an object involved? I certainly think it's not beneath KENTA's dignity to have an object at his disposal. In this case, oh my goodness, KENTA's got some brass knuckles going on. But look at this. The opponent grabs the wrestler's object, discards it, and then slams the wrestler to the mat. So KENTA attempting shenanigans with the brass knuckles, not to be successful, as Paul Orndorff, right on top of things, grabs those brass knuckles away from KENTA, tosses them aside, and then slams KENTA down to the mat. And it will be Paul Orndorff starting things off here on level 3 offense after disarming KENTA. And now it is Orndorff with the big forearm drop. KENTA slowly getting to his feet. Orndorff with a running elbow to the head. And now KENTA is going to fire back with a series of kicks. Shoot kicks to the lower body of Orndorff. Orndorff comes right back at him and is going to attempt another big body slam. This is a choice D maneuver, choice D. So he will need a roll of 12 or lower to get this. It's a roll of 9 plus a power of +3. But in my universe, 12 is always a fail. So the 12 will be a fail here. But on a roll of 6, it is Orndorff slamming KENTA down to the mat. KENTA slowly getting to his feet as Scott Johnson joins us. Good to see you here, Scott. As Orndorff back in control and just stomping away on KENTA. Finally, the referee gets involved and forces them to a break. And as they come back together in the center of the ring, it is KENTA with a big boot to the midsection on Orndorff to take control. KENTA now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Paul Orndorff, and on a roll of 7, that's a reversal, as Orndorff grabs the arm of KENTA and swings KENTA the opposite way, and KENTA bounces off the turnbuckle, and Orndorff hits him with a big kick. Orndorff now back in control, and Orndorff with more of those repeated stomps. KENTA slowly getting to his feet, but Orndorff steps on him, stays in control with a step over armbar. KENTA back to his feet once again as Orndorff holds the armbar. What's Orndorff going to do here? He is going to attempt a big drop kick. As KENTA breaks free, Orndorff nails him with a big standing drop kick. Again, both men are down, both men getting to their feet. KENTA has the quickness edge here and is going to catch Orndorff coming in, scoop him up, and slam him down to the mat. Good back and forth action here between KENTA and Paul Orndorff, two very good athletes and very good wrestlers, if we can just keep the shenanigans out of it. Here's KENTA scoring again with another big boot, and KENTA following that up with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Paul Orndorff, and on a roll of 10, that is the running double clothesline, and both men go down. Both men are B-rated on the ropes, and so it will be KENTA, the wrestler on offense, who is first to recover. And he's got a chance now on level 3 offense, and he is going to go to the game over. That is a 0 finisher. The pin roll here is Snake Eyes, and on a roll of 5, Orndorff able to kick out, but KENTA strikes first with that game over. And now what's he going to do? He's going to go right to the go to sleep. This is his finisher. It's a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 5, and on a roll of 5, he got him. So just like that, Kenta gets the win with the go to sleep over Mr. Wonderful. Paul Orndorff didn't even need any shenanigans from his mates in the Golden Dynasty, as Kenta took care of business on his own in impressive fashion. So congratulations to Kenta. Let's see, we had Scott Johnson's joining us. Doubles roll twice in Velvet at the start of a match results in a double DQ. That's a pretty cool rule. I think I like that. So thanks for sharing that. I'm always interested to hear what sort of mods people have come up with. Solo Promoter has the Kenta card, but will have to has yet to use him. We'll have to change that. Yeah, this is a nice card. It's from Best of the Indies 2025. And yeah, it's got a 4-1 pin rating, so it must reflect, not just Kenta's recent activity on the Indies, but the breadth of his career, which I like. It's got the go to sleep +2 finisher and the game over 0 finisher, with a mechanic that on rolls of 8 to 12, he can use a Busaiku knee +1 for his finisher. So Paul Orndorff tasting the go to sleep and suffering the pinfall here tonight in Tampa. And that brings us to potentially another very interesting match. The following contest is a #1 contenders match for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, that championship currently held by Bobo Brazil. Bobo scheduled to defend that title next week at the Into the Fire pay-per-view against the #1 contender currently, who is Big John Studd. And whoever emerges from that battle will face the new #1 contender to be determined here in our next contest. Introducing first, weighing in at 238 pounds from St. Louis, Missouri, standing at 6'2", this is THESZ. And his opponent hails from Austin, Texas. He stands at 6 feet even. He weighs 289 pounds. He is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. All right, #1 contenders match. Dusty Rhodes and THESZ. Set for battle here tonight in Tampa. And what the heck, we'll go ahead and use our championship dice for this one. It's not a championship match per se, but it has championship implications, and we haven't yet used our championship dice here tonight. So, and sure enough, off the battle, it is a doubles roll, which means we go to the Face to the Mat Shenanigans book, brought to you by THESZ. And this time the roll is 3-1. Is he quick? THESZ indeed with the quickness advantage in this match. Oh, this is interesting. Wrestler darts out of the way of a ring intruder. Scores 1 point. The referee restores order, and the match continues. So I don't know who might be the intruder in this situation. Perhaps Kenta. Yeah, we'll blame that on Kenta. He was just in the ring and didn't want to leave the ring after his victory over Paul Orndorff, and Kenta, being a heel and a member of the Golden Dynasty, continued to create shenanigans and perhaps took the microphone and ran down Dusty, and then tried to take a cheap shot at THESZ, and the referee put Kenta out of the ring, and the match continued. And now it will be THESZ opening up with the advantage, and THESZ coming out with a takedown into a head scissors. Dusty getting back to his feet. THESZ stays on him now with a forearm shot off of the lockup. Dusty standing his ground, and THESZ is just going to take him right back down with another takedown and THESZ now in control on level 2 offense. Now going to attempt a hammerlock. Exactly what you would expect from Lou THESZ. A lot of on the mat action, trying to keep Dusty's power advantage at a minimum. And now he can attempt this hammerlock on a roll of 8 or lower. But Dusty's able to power his way out of the attempted hammerlock. And it is Dusty who nails Lou THESZ right on the schnoz with a bionic elbow. And that is an add 1 move. Lou THESZ does, however, have an opportunity to counter that. He cannot with his ring mechanic. So THESZ eats a bionic elbow, and Dusty comes right back at him with a big vertical suplex. Both men now getting to their feet. And as they get to their feet, it is Dusty going to take THESZ down into a standing ankle twist. Continues to work the ankle. And Dusty now with a big vertical suplex attempted. That's going to be blocked by Lou THESZ. THESZ blocking the vertical suplex attempt. And it is THESZ now with a double leg pickup and dumps Dusty down onto the canvas. Both men again scrambling to their feet. Nice reversal by THESZ. Nice technical exchange between these two men. And as they come together again in the center of the ring, it's going to be Dusty attempting a running lariat. This is a choice D maneuver. He will need a roll of 8 or lower to be successful, and on a roll of 5, he nails that running lariat. And he's going to go for a quick cover on Lou THESZ. The pin roll here is Snake Eyes, but THESZ able to kick out. Dusty now in control after that big running lariat. And not sure about this strategy, but Dusty is thinking about going up for a death jump. He's going up to the top rope, and off he comes, and on a roll of 10, that is indeed the agility roll. THESZ with the advantage on the agility is able to climb up to the top turnbuckle and dump Dusty to the canvas before Dusty could take off. And so now THESZ back in control, and THESZ going to go with a double wrist lock. Attempted submission hold here. The submission roll will be 3 or lower, and on a roll of 7, Dusty able to survive the attempted double wrist lock submission. THESZ stays in control, continues to work that double wrist lock, and now it's going to be Dusty rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor as Philip Reynolds joins us. Welcome, Philip. Hope all is well. As Dusty Rhodes is out on the arena floor and on a roll of 3, that is good for Dusty as he catches THESZ coming out of the ring and slams him back first into the ring apron. And as you all know, the ring apron is the hardest part of the ring. So THESZ not feeling very good about that decision. And now Dusty is going to keep action out here on the arena floor. But this time it's going to be THESZ winning the brawl on the arena floor as THESZ is able to catch Dusty coming in with a big body slam onto the arena floor. So Lou THESZ manning up here, getting the best of Dusty on the floor, and now back into the ring. It's going to be THESZ attempting a release power bomb, which is a choice D maneuver. Choice D. And against Dusty, he would need a roll of 8 or lower to hit that on level 3, so he is going to give it a try. And sure enough, he caught the release power bomb onto Dusty, and Dusty is hurt. THESZ back in control with a series of drop kicks, keeping Dusty at bay. THESZ follows that up with some more drop kicks. Dusty will not leave his feet, so THESZ stays on him and now is going to attempt to go back to that hammerlock on a roll of 8 or lower. Able to get that cinched in, and Dusty Rhodes now down to one knee as THESZ works the hammerlock. THESZ follows that up with a big airplane spin over the shoulder and down to the canvas hard. Rhodes slowly getting to his feet. THESZ stays on him now with a double leg pickup, taking him back down to the canvas. THESZ back in control and again slowing the pace of that match as he tries to work the hammerlock again and is unable to do so. As this time Dusty reverses out of that, attempts a vertical suplex. THESZ again blocks the vertical suplex, and it is THESZ coming back now with a whip to the ropes. Coming off the ropes is Lou THESZ, and on a roll of 4. As Dusty comes off the ropes, it is THESZ setting himself too soon, and Dusty catches him right across the back of the neck with a massive elbow smash that drops THESZ to the canvas. Dusty now in control. He's going to the sleeper. Sleeper hold applied by Dusty Rhodes. THESZ struggling. Up to one knee. THESZ trying to work his way free of the sleeper. And now Dusty nails him again with another bionic elbow. And another add one on Lou THESZ. THESZ is stunned. Dusty comes at him again with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Lou THESZ. And this time that's a reversal. THESZ grabbing the arm of Dusty and reversing that whip into the turnbuckle. And as Dusty bounces him off the turnbuckle, THESZ catches him with a big kick. THESZ once again in control. What a great match we're seeing between these two. As THESZ takes Dusty down with another double leg takedown. And again is going to try and work that hammerlock. This time he is successful. And Dusty is down as THESZ works that hammerlock. Works him down to the mat, face down. And now converts that back into the double wrist lock submission attempt. And Dusty again rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And from the arena floor, it will be THESZ again winning the brawl on the arena floor and dropping Dusty stomach first across the security railing. Wow, if Dusty can't win those brawls on the floor, he's going to have a hard time dealing with Lou THESZ because that's one of his best weapons. And now THESZ goes to the Greco-Roman backdrop. This is a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 6 or lower. And on a roll of 7, Dusty barely gets his foot over the bottom rope to escape from the pinning predicament. THESZ still in control, and now THESZ is going to go for that release powerbomb again. Something interesting I just noticed about the Lou THESZ card. There is no death jump opportunity on this card. He's got a choice D. He's got an out of the ring choice roll. And he's got into the turnbuckle and into the ropes, but he does not have a death jump mechanic anywhere on his card. Interesting. What he does have now is the choice D maneuver, so he can attempt a release powerbomb on a roll of 8 or lower. And on a roll of 8, he connects on the release powerbomb, and Dusty is hurt. THESZ stays on him now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Coming off the turnbuckle is Dusty, and he eats another big kick from THESZ. And THESZ follows that up with another airplane spin that dumps Dusty down to the mat once again. Dusty is down. Can THESZ finish him here? He's going to go to the THESZ press this time. He explodes off the ropes into that flying body press. The pin roll here is 7, and on a roll of 10, Dusty again able to kick out. Dusty Rhodes showing some resilience here, but THESZ is in control. And now THESZ goes to the THESZ press once again. The pin roll now is 8, and on a roll of 7, he got him. So really a good match between Lou THESZ and Dusty Rhodes, but THESZ does get the victory with the THESZ press. And he will be your #1 contender after next week's pay-per-view. And now, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to your main event of the evening. The following contest is a no disqualification match. Already in the ring is Iron Mike DiBiase, the father of Ted DiBiase. He has got the microphone, and he is giving his son more than a few lectures on the finer points of appropriate behavior in the professional wrestling business. Ted DiBiase comes out to the ring. He's not interested in hearing his father's moralizing. He's more curious about who will be the mystery opponent. So Ted DiBiase pacing the ring, asking the referees or the sound guys to cut the microphone. They refuse to do it as Iron Mike Blassie continues his tirade against the bad behavior of his son until finally he introduces the opponent for the evening. His good friend, also out of St. Louis, Missouri, standing at only 5'10", weighing 230 pounds. Who might this be? Ladies and gentlemen, it is the one and only Classy Freddie Blassie. Classy Freddie Blassie coming out to face Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase is not even a little bit happy about this turn of events. There's no dirtier player in the game than Classy Freddie Blassie. And Ted DiBiase is about to, looks like he's about to lose his lunch as he watches Freddie Blassie coming down to ringside to face off against Ted DiBiase. Iron Mike DiBiase now joined at ringside by Larry Zbyszko and Bastion Booger. They're here to be sure that there is no shenanigans from any other members of the Golden Dynasty, as this is going to be one-on-one. Ted DiBiase and Classy Freddie Blassie here in Tampa. And it is going to be Classy, or we need to go to our grudge match dice for this. This is not a championship situation. This is all of a grudge match, and we are going to the Face to the Match Shenanigans booklet. Once again, shenanigans brought to you by Freddie Blassie. And this time we're going to use the hardcore section of the shenanigans book. And on a roll of 46, is the wrestler helped? Neither wrestler is helped, as they are as there are men all around ringside to prevent that. So instead, the opponent swings from a ceiling fixture, flooring the wrestler, and the opponent scores 2 points. I don't know if Freddie Blassie is the kind of guy to come off of the ceiling fixture, but we'll say that while all of the controversy was happening at ringside with members of the Golden Dynasties jawing with Larry Zbyszko and Bastion Booger and Mike DiBiase, that Fred Blassie took advantage of the opportunity to climb to the top turnbuckle and come off and nail Ted DiBiase with a death jump. So Freddie Blassie from behind off the turnbuckle with a flying double axe handle that put Ted DiBiase on the mat, and now we go to school as as Blassie goes right to a low blow. He's not messing around. Freddie Blassie with the low blow on DiBiase. Blassie going for the quick cover, and DiBiase somehow manages to kick out, but it is a long night for Ted DiBiase, and it's going to be a long and lonely evening for Mrs. DiBiase after what we just witnessed. Blassie now stays in control and pitches Ted DiBiase out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on the arena floor, it is Freddie Blassie with a drop kick over the steel security railing. Ted DiBiase being humbled as he is forced to climb back out over the barricade, where Freddie Blassie is waiting for him into the ring with more discipline on mind, and now he goes to a blatant chokehold. A blatant chokehold being applied by Blassie, and DiBiase is just going to roll right back out of the ring, and DiBiase is going to our out of the ring again booklet. And let's see what Ted DiBiase can pull from the out of the ring booklet. And here it is, outside interference. We've got all 6 men brawling at ringside. Members of the Golden Dynasty brawling with Mike DiBiase and brawling with Bastion Booger and Larry Zbyszko out there. And the result of the brawl is won decisively by Freddie Blassie and his crew. So that's going to put Blassie back in charge as fists are flying. Bastion Booger just nailed Ted DiBiase with a big headbutt and rolled him back into the ring. The crowd is going wild for Bastion Booger, a recent runner-up in the Sexiest Man Alive contest. And now Blassie goes to the Southern Neckbreaker. That's his +3 finisher. The pin roll here is 6, and on a roll of 6, he got him. So Ted DiBiase learning a lesson in humility here tonight in front of a packed house in Tampa, Florida, and score the assist to Bastion Booger at ringside, catching DiBiase with a nasty headbutt to set up Freddie Blassie for the Southern Neckbreaker and the 3 count. Congratulations to Freddie Blassie, as Freddie Blassie now has the ring microphone, and he now is berating Ted DiBiase. And if you're getting a behavior lecture from Freddie Blassie, you must have really run afoul of common decency. So a humbling evening indeed for Ted DiBiase as the fisticuffs continue around ringside. Barry Windham, Kurt Hennig mixing it up with Larry Zbyszko and with Bastion Booger out there. Freddie Blassie continuing to lay the bad lip on Ted DiBiase in the ring as Mike DiBiase celebrates. I don't know if this will change Ted DiBiase's long-term outlook, but at least he has learned a lesson about messing in terms of his father, and honor your father and mother, says the good book. And hopefully Ted DiBiase will have learned at least something of a lesson in humility here tonight in Tampa. All right, we are finished up here, fans. Thank you all for tuning in this evening. A fun night and a great crowd. Thank you to everybody who turned out. Dr. XC5, Neely Bob, Philip Reynolds, the solo promoter Grant Bachoco, Scott Johnson, Dwayne Martz, Frank Wayne Scott, Barbara 113. I think I saw Kathy Evans come in at some point. Captain Carl 8230. Referee Slim Jim 1973. There's Kathy Evans. Oh, and Pop's Reviews. Always great to have Pop's Reviews with us. Jay Randis also checked in at the beginning of the show. And Dave Gardner Videos. Thank you one and all for tuning in to tonight's action. We will be back on the air next Sunday night with Heartland Havoc 134 Into the Fire. And there will be a Heartland highlight reel in the midweek, probably Thursday night, running down all of the great matches you will see at the pay-per-view, and also recapping ROH Heatwave and all the other great action from around the Heartland and the Filsinger game universe. One more thing about next week, there is a Lumberjack match, and Lumberjacks are actively being recruited. So if you want to insert one or more Lumberjacks into next week's Lumberjack match, it will be MJF versus Jimmy Valiant in the wake of last week's very controversial Butcher Legacy Championship match. We've already got a spate of Velvet Posse members serving as Lumberjacks. We've also got Don Leo Jonathan and Playboy Buddy Rose signed up, courtesy of Grant Bachoco. So anybody else who wants to add Lumberjacks to the mix for next week's show, please say so. And so until then, that's our stream, and I am out of here.